All right, say something.
I
I have a feeling you thought that'd be cooler in your head before I actually did it.
Oh no, I'm hearing it right now out loud. It sounds amazing, dude. But you cut me off mid chord, so I don't know where to pick this up now. This is the podcast you want to go just lay around, don't feel like hearing any structure, and you just, maybe halfway through you want us to either shut the fuck up or you just so bored out of your goddamn mind you're still gonna listen to us. Think of this as like Stockholm syndrome. You're getting tortured by our fucking voices, but you still love it. That's right. You still.
So I guess first topic. What do you have? What were we gonna do? Anime? Was that
Dude,
just?
yeah, let's go with anime, dude. So, what you been watching, bro?
Um, I just finished Akame ga Kill. But before we get into that, just like a recap. I'd say we're both fairly new to anime. We both started watching what in like the last 2 years at most. I started
Yeah.
like beginning of 2019. I think yeah, beginning of 2019 is when I started watching. And that was 2021. So solid 2 years.
Well, dude, I know what you feel like. I don't feel like I'm completely new. Like, if anime was like a Pokemon adventure, I feel like I've at least gotten the first two gym badges. Like, I still feel like I'm kind of got into things. I kind of understand how it how it goes. I'm just going around capturing Pokemon.
So about the same time as me actually.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. I think it was 2018 in December. So let's go with that.
okay, so we're both fairly new to it. The culture behind it's really changed, and I would say it's probably one of my. I don't know if it's one of my favorite entertainment sources. I'm not sure if I want to put it on that level just yet, because I'd say I watch it, but I'm not like weeb status. I don't want to associate myself at that level yet.
I mean, I know you don't
Yeah.
have to be like weeb in terms of like weeb culture, because I
Okay.
think because like weeb culture, that's when it's like, all right, he's so engrossed into anime, he's probably not gonna get a job. He's probably not gonna graduate high school. He may not get a house. He's probably gonna live in it with his mom. Like you can be like an avid anime watcher and still have a normal life outside. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. But
So
like I wouldn't like ever. The furthest I'm like I don't even know if I'm the level where I want to buy like a poster of anime just yet. Maybe that's because I haven't seen like a really good one where I said, yeah, I want to have this hanging up in my room.
hmm
Not saying that there's anything wrong with that, but like that's just I just like watching it and like watching it and then forgetting about it, if that makes sense. Like I would watch it. I haven't seen like a series that I would willingly go and like watch the entire thing again.
No, so it's kind
Uh,
of like getting drunk. You just go have fun and then forget about it.
I guess so. Yeah, I guess yeah, that's a pretty good analogy. Um,
Yeah, and as intoxicating anime is, it's definitely something worth picking up for
but
all
we,
you.
we, we don't condone the use of alcohol.
We do not condone the use of alcohol at all.
So I guess starting off, what's the first anime you ever watched?
It's this. Oh, dude, like I spent days just searching on the internet, right through the deeps of trenches of Reddit, dude. Just backslash after backslash after backslash, and I ended up on this one anime called Naruto.
You had to search all of Reddit to find Naruto.
No, it just popped up on Netflix, and I was like, "Oh yeah, I used to watch this as a kid."
That's fair, yeah.
And dude, oh my god, I was just enamored by the story, bro. And I don't know if you want full non review. I said my first name. You're gonna have to bleep that out.
Well, anonymous, so.
But I just said that was my first name. So what's the point?
Well, they won't know. It's not this full first.
Guys, please don't find me. I don't live in.
Okay, you're just giving yourself. I don't know if I'll ever watch Naruto. I might just offended you by saying that.
No, you're right.
So, but don't spoil it. I actually might pick it up.
It's definitely something like when it's winter break or something, you just throw. I think it's even though it's long, you can easily like submerge yourself into it.
Yeah, and that's probably one of the main things I like about just 20-minute episodes, 24 episode seasons. You could legit watch the entire thing in 3-4 hours, which just makes it perfect for like winter breaks, that kind of stuff.
Dude, just do what I did for Naruto. Get an appendectomy, an appendicitis surgery, and then when you're unable to move and leave your bed for 2 weeks straight, then you have no other choice but to lay in your bed and watch Naruto.
You want me to get surgery and be bedridden for 2 weeks?
Dude, it's your appendix. Who needs an appendix? Just think about what you could do by getting your appendix removed. You can watch Naruto. Yeah. What is? I'm not pronouncing it right. Is it an appendix?
Appendix.
Appendix.
Yeah.
Appendix.
But the first one I watched was One Punch Man.
No, dude, that was good.
That was solid. But that's actually not the anime that got me into it, because I watched One Punch Man just because I saw like either a YouTube video or something about it. I didn't even really know what anime was when I watched it, so I thought it was just like a Japanese cartoon. I mean, I knew like anime was a thing, but I just didn't really associate it when I watched it, you know. Eventually, since the second season the second season was coming out when I first watched it, so I kept up.
You watched the second season of One Punch Man?
Mm-hmm.
I've heard it's fucking dog doo-doo poop shit.
I mean, it's based on the story, so I like the story, the source material, but if you're talking from like an artistic style, yeah, it's not as good, but there's some solid fight scenes in there. Okay. Not even gonna lie.
As long as we see motherfuckers like throwing hands and shit, that's all I want to see, man. Ever since World Star went down, I picked up anime.
But the similar to you, the first anime that I think I watched that was like, I guess, the gateway drug that got me into it was Kakegurui. I know it's like a completely different like genre from what I think you're used to. It's completely different from Naruto, but again, I found it on Netflix. I said, I watched One Punch Man like a couple months, maybe 6 months ago. I enjoyed it. Maybe I'll get into this. And I was expecting it to be like a corny cartoon, but there definitely are those. But it was actually pretty freaking good. Pretty good.
Yeah, I've watched the first couple episodes. Like one of my friends, he's like obsessed with that show. So I promised him I'll watch it with him whenever. So like that's gonna be dedicated with that. But
yeah, I would watch it with you.
No, I'm fine.
Really? That's just good, bro. First off, I'm the type of person that doesn't like committing to TV series.
Yeah.
And I feel that anime allows you to drop it as soon as you feel like you're completed with it and you're like, okay, this is a good stopping point, or you just get bored with it, or you just get upset with it. Mm-hmm. There's not a lot of investment that you need to do if you're not watching like the One Pieces and the Narutos that have like thousands of episodes, like Dragon Ball Z. If you're not watching one of those, a lot of just the casual animes you can just watch. A lot of them they're just only have one season out or 2 seasons out. It's 24 episodes, 20 minutes per episode. It's not a big commitment, and it's just short, sweet, to the point. That's the kind of entertainment I like. I like comparing it to like YouTube videos. I actually watch more YouTube than I do like regular TV if it's not like sports broadcasts or the news or stuff like that.
Right.
So I feel it's easy. It's easy to watch and it's entertaining and not a lot of commitment. Like one of the series that me and my dad watched was The Walking Dead. Where there's like 9-10 seasons of that, 40 minutes a season, and we're at the point where I'm just so tired of watching it because they just completely went like off to the left field with the story, and it's like, okay, I wasted all this time watching it, and it's not the ending I want. The characters I invested a lot of time into got killed off, and I don't care about the new ones. Yeah. So it's something along the lines of that. I think anime is just it gives you that thrill, like the rush of good storytelling. You get good fight scenes, good character development, but it's short, sweet, to the point. That's one of the reasons I really like it.
Well, I think one thing about anime is also the structure. Anime starts off with a creator like from manga, meaning there's not just one production team. Usually it starts off from manga, obviously, not every single time, but it starts off with manga where there's already a creator behind it who has taken the time to draw out the scenes and stuff and has crafted the story on its own. And now that creator, after the manga's been out for some time, now works with like a studio that will help animate it, right? Build animations. Also, one thing that got me into anime is obviously the fucking nerds I go to school with, but that's the main thing. But also like how like I'm really big into like music, hip hop especially, and how big it's played as a role in like hip hop history. Like like how many rappers have you heard talking about Dragon Ball, Naruto, or even the movie Akira?
I've heard of it. I haven't seen it
I haven't watched it either, but it's considered one of the most influential art pieces for hip hop. Kanye West's music video for Stronger was based off that movie, and like Kanye even said like he was very inspired by that film, and wanted to push like that kind of more, cyberpunkish, futuristic, movement, I should say.
Yeah,
So
that's what true. And another thing you brought up with the manga, that's another thing that you can't necessarily get with other TV shows or movies out there is that if for some reason, or not if, but a lot of the times animes, because they're going through a production studio and they want to make it watchable rather than readable, it's like a different medium source. So a lot of the times they will divert away from the source material. So if you really are that interested into the story, you can legit reread the entire thing from the beginning and sometimes get a completely different story. They cut out a lot of the different scenes that were in the original source material. Sometimes they change the ending a little bit. The way they treat characters is a little bit different as well. So you can, once you finish anime, you could, if you really want to, go read the manga, and have a completely different, like almost a director's cut or undone scene at like scenes that got deleted from the movie, and like just re-experience it for a different way.
right, I think you're right. That is a good point, and it makes me now that you said that, it's making me think about what I just said before. That I think what makes anime like not always be long is that it's an adaptation. It's an adaptation of an original source material, for to just give another artistic medium for viewers to indulge in.
Right. All right. So the next thing I want to address is the mentality that I think a lot of people are getting away from this, that anime is meant for kids. I think the biggest thing is that anime is not a like exclusively kid thing. I say it's more of just a medium for storytelling. I think that's the best way to say
Right.
it.
I think when you say kids, it's kind of misleading. No, anime is meant for virgins. If you have some sort of anxiety talking to a girl, you probably watch anime, or you should watch anime. You probably feel at home. Most like every anime has like some sort of awkward weirdo, motherfucking some motherfucker that got nasty ass toes. Probably don't even clip them nails and stuff. Got hair, fucking cheese doodle dust all over his motherfucking fingertips and shit.
And the baddest girl in the anime still loves him for whatever reason.
Oh yeah, dude.
Like the dude has nothing going for him, and she's still like enamored by him. Like no.
But see, that's the psychology of anime, dude. Listen, they wanna grope in people like us, people who are losers. Are we losers?
I'm not.
Fuck. Okay, but
No, we're not.
we're not.
To be fair, we are engineers, so you can take that for what it's worth.
Yeah, dude. The fucking business. I don't like how the business school students here come like haze us and tease us. They're like, "Huh, you're like engineers. You guys are like weirdos."
That's happened to you?
Oh,
I'm so
dude.
so sorry. Well, that hasn't happened to me. I think it's a good way just to summarize, why we both got into anime. Now, as far as the animes I personally like watching the most, I'm more of a... How do I say it?
You said rom-com when I asked you last time.
Well, rom-com is one of my favorites. Or, like, favorite genres within anime.
Basically,
And then also...
you like to get seduced. Like, not in like a bad way, just like... We're just like, oh, this is happening, but it's also funny. And
yeah, it's like, it's the idea that the situations they get put in are so ridiculous, it's entertaining.
Dude, I keep telling you, my bride is a mermaid. Perfect description. Great comedy. It's kind of romantic. It's more comedy than romance, but it is very just ridiculous and just pure, just funny.
Yeah. Love Tyrant's also a good one. I'll flash some pictures up of both of those, maybe some clips here and there.
What is it? Love Tyrants?
Yeah, I love tyrants. But yeah, that's one of my favorites. I also like the isekai genre, where it's like the guy gets pulled from his. You're looking at me so good.
You know, like the Isekai Quartet thing?
No, not like that, but just like the isekai like genre, where the guy gets pulled into a different, like a fantastical world, and has to kind of adapt, basically grow. It's not like the stereotypical ones, but like ReZero is one of my favorites.
I've heard
That's
that's
de-
amazing.
yeah.
I've heard it's amazing.
It's not really fight scene heavy. There's some good fight scenes, in the first season, but the second season, it's primarily just been dialogue back and forth and a lot of like, development of characters, backstory, that kind of stuff. So if you strictly watch for fight scenes, that's not really the person I'm into. I enjoy good fight scenes, but if an anime that is just purely fight scenes like God of High School, I've lost interest fairly quickly. And
I didn't watch it mainly because I've been meaning to read the webtoons for like over a year now.
Right.
And then they're like, oh, it's getting animated now. I'm like,
Yeah, so that's I guess the mediums that I personally like the most.
would it be something like so isekai? I'm sorry to interrupt, but is isekai like Konosuba? I don't know if you watched. Is it like that?
Yeah, that's still in the genre because he gets pulled. It's basically an isekai is it's just the idea that a guy from the real world gets pulled into a fantastical world
That's
where they use magic or like medieval times or whatever, or a mix of the two. But you can make it. Yeah, that's the thing. It's hilarious. Have you seen Akame ga Kill?
No.
I recommend that one. It's a fairly easy watch. 24 episodes, 2 seasons.
Okay.
But it's insane. Like you just like I don't want to spoil, but like you get introduced to some characters and they like die within the next 10 minutes. Like they're not afraid to like just cut off main characters or even like main side characters from the main story.
Is it like? Well, I don't know. That's not really a good example. I was thinking like Kenny from South Park. If you
Well,
watched.
I mean, like how he dies like almost every episode.
Yeah. Like, oh, they killed Kenny. You bastards.
Yeah. It's like it's like almost like unexpected some of the things they do, but it's really the idea behind that show. Just to give it in depth, like kind of from what I got from it, is that they take the idea that instead of just having generic bad guy is bad because he's bad, the bad guys actually have their reasons for what they do, and the good guys have their reasons for what they do, and it just so happens that their ideals don't align.
Okay.
Like almost in the real world, and they're like, well, yeah, you might have your reason, your family died at the hands of me trying to do my thing, and you want to get revenge, and that's perfectly fine. You're trying to defend your hometown. They all have their own reasons for what they're doing. But it's just like opposing ideas. It's got to be like we got to duke it out on the battlefield and see who wins, and whoever wins, that's just how it is. And I think that's almost like a parallel with like a lot of real world situations. Like it's not just bad guys are bad because they're bad. Like in a lot of stories, they actually have families that they have, and they go into like the villains have like their loved ones, and they dive into that. So you like almost develop kind of you develop a relation with all the characters on both sides. And you're like, I really wish they could just all agree and move forward, but that's inevitable. Like it's far past that. Like the anime starts off where they're far past the reconciliation point, and they just got to see who wins the fight, and I think that's really interesting. But yeah, that's just kind of what Akame ga Kill was like.
Okay, well, no, that's actually one of the main things I love about anime is how it's just trying to give background information on even the bad guys and stuff, and like basically like a character that everyone hates. You say, oh, you might all hate him, but there's actually a reason to why he acts a certain way, and then there's all we could dive into the philosophy and then just like on righteousness and all that, because this is very applicable to real world, and that's why I love Naruto so much. Naruto was the gateway for me because I saw how it brought into how it was relating realism and issues with the real world, and basically our philosophical approaches to that, and saying in order to overcome evil adversity, there's going to be a way where we have to be able to somehow come to terms with our evil, or having to give up those people who may be bad a chance. Like, well, not necessarily a chance, because for one, it's really hard to approach this, because on the one hand you can say, oh, you give him a chance, he goes, let's say you give a murderer a chance, he goes and kills another person, what's the point? And the person who just got murdered, they have just as much of the right to live as anyone else. But I just really think it's just good that it does help change people's perspectives on stuff. That's the main reason why I watch anime to this day. The number one reason.
Yeah,
is
for sure.
Perspectives and opening my mind to different ideas.
Yeah, I think that's kind of like the issue that I personally see. I mean, obviously the comment section, if you go on like Crunchyroll, Funimation, I personally use VRV as like the streaming service I use. But like if you just go down the comment section in some of these like episodes, like half of them are talking about, yo, did you see the titties at this timestamp, or like, yo, I want to ship main character and then this character, and like, oh my god, like he's such an idiot, and it's like they're all focusing on the fan service, which most animes do have fan service because they want to make it appealing to their. They know who they're selling it to. They know who their audience is.
Virgins.
Yeah.
2 times now.
I mean, like you can't. I mean, to be frank, like it's not the like majority of football jocks or lacrosse players or even you know that like the stereotypical alpha male that really watches anime. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it, you know.
There's a lot of closeted anime fans. There are a lot of. I've met some jocks. Like I remember one time I was in the elevator in the, in the other dorms, and I'm just like talking, and then like one dude goes, "Yo, y'all talking about anime?" I'm like, "Yeah." And he goes, "Hey, bro, I watch that shit like 3 hours a day," and he was like saying that all confidently and stuff, and I'm just like, "Damn." And I realized, you know what? If you're not like most people, a lot of people do watch anime on the low. Like I've even met some girls, obviously not all girls, but like girls that will watch because they got put on a show. Do you have any animes you want to specifically discuss? Because I don't know how many animes we have in common.
Just start naming some you watch.
Okay, you want to start with shonen?
Sure.
Okay, Naruto, My Hero,
I watched
One Piece.
a couple episodes of those two.
One Piece.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I showed you.
Yeah, you showed me. I really haven't seen it since you showed me.
It's 900 episodes. Just don't worry about it. Just don't worry about it, bro. It's amazing, but just don't worry about
Name another one.
it. Is this shonen JoJo's? Is JoJo's shonen?
I haven't seen JoJo's.
Okay. I gotta pull up my list.
Like I said, I'll pull up mine too. Your anime list.
Yeah.
I can pull up my computer. Like I said, we don't have the same. I guess we don't. I knew there wasn't a lot of overlap, like a whole lot of overlap between the shows we watch. But I think that kind of gives us a different perspective. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so back from a quick hiatus. I got a banana. I don't know why I said that, but we pull up each other's anime lists on my anime list.
So after a quick talk, me and Cast have decided to go into a more ASMR direction.
No. Put the mic down. Put the mic down.
Okay. Let's go down the list. Let's see. We're going down the list. We're going down. Ooh, you gave Death Note a 10. I don't want to do Death Note. Anything. Oh, so you gave Konosuba a 10. A 10. It's amazing. I admit it's amazing. Let's just go off Konosuba. I can't really quite remember, but once you just start talking, I'm pretty sure it's gonna trigger stuff in my mind.
So, I don't even know if there's like an overarching story to Konosuba. It's just a whirlwind of just laughing that you just forget like what you're watching. I think that's the good thing about it. It's almost like SpongeBob. Like there's no overarching story. Every episode is just as ridiculous as the last. You just get a good laugh out of it. But the idea is so ridiculous. It's an isekai. So the main character, I forget what's his name.
Monkey D.
Kazuma.
Luffy.
No, his name's Kazuma. That's One Piece. Isn't it? So the way he gets isekai, most people are like either die or they just get summoned for some reason to like be the hero. This dude, so he's walking home from school, right? Mm-hmm. And there's this pretty girl that he knows in his class, but like he's a weirdo, so like she doesn't recognize him, and he thinks a semi truck's about to hit him. So like cliche, I push her out of the way, and then he dies, right? So then he's like in front of this angel or whatever,
Right.
and he's like, did I die like a fateful death, like as a hero? She's like, no. So it wasn't even a semi truck; it was a tractor that hit it, like that was going like 2 miles an hour down the street.
And the
He
shop,
pushed the girl.
Yeah.
He fell down and he died of shock and peed his pants. And it was so bad even his parents laughed at him. So the idea is that he's now been chosen by the gods or whatever to be reincarnated into into a fantasy world, just like every other isekai. Special thing is he can pick one special ability to take with him. The girl's being a bitch to him because he's taking too long, so he's like, fine, I'll take you. So he chooses the angel that was with him. That was like sitting on the... And so another angel shows up like, yeah, you can go with them. So now him and this angel are like isekai to did this magical
Well,
world.
she's technically a goddess. He's actually like she's the water.
Oh.
She's a water goddess.
Okay, what's her name?
Man beats me, man.
Aqua, I guess.
Aqua, yes.
I just guessed.
That
I
is
don't
it is her
know. Oh,
name.
is it? Okay. So all I remember is God, I don't even remember the one that does the fire. Jesus.
Megumi?
Yeah, Megumi. She's the best girl.
She's the best. She's hilarious.
Explosion. So anyway, they have to form a guild and they like do what tasks or whatever. It's just like basic anime like isekai stuff. You form a guild, you level yourself up like a video game. You try to become the hero and defeat the demon lord or whatever.
Yeah, basically they're basically just like, how do I say it in like financial terms, like independent contractors.
Mm-hmm.
If that doesn't just throw your whole vibe off instantly. They basically just take missions. They're like, okay, we need someone to go kill this thing. This will give you this amount of reward. Obviously, the harder the task, the more reward. So, they do that. And they ended up getting a lot of money, which reminds me, did you watch the movie for this?
Mm-hmm.
Remember when they went to Megumi's house and the parents, and then the parents heard the net worth and they're like, oh my god, and they're like,
Locked them in there.
they're basically like trying to get them to,
Yeah.
And
then for some reason, I don't know what it is, but always it's like they're like 14, 15-year-old kids.
What the?
In almost every isekai.
Oh yeah, dude.
I mean, that might be anime in general. They're all teenagers. I'm not sure what that's about.
I think it's just the audience and stuff.
Yeah, it goes back to the audience. But the idea is like overarching idea. They have to go. He has to go and defeat the demon lord. But by episode 2, they completely like steer clear of like actually doing any of that because it gets so ridiculous with the things that it's kind of it can be pervy at sometimes.
Right.
But it's funny. Like
Right.
they do a good job. It's not just pervy for the sake of being pervy and fan service.
Yeah. No, you're right. It's like you said. It was the full purpose was to go defeat the demon lord to come back to Earth. They get so distracted to that they never end up doing any of that.
The other thing is all the girls that are in Cosmo's party are pretty much flawed or like
Very flawed.
yeah, very flawed. Megumin is like the strongest because she can like command like fire from the heavens, but she can only do it once and then she goes paralyzed. So there's that.
No, the best one is actually the blonde one.
Oh, what's her name? Darkness. Yeah.
Darkness. She's like, no, I owe you my life. Use my body as a shield.
Yeah, she was like, what is it called? Like attracted to masochism.
Masochism is when you like infliction.
Self-inflicted pain.
Like basically, like it's like hurting yourself.
Oh,
Sadistic, like sadism. That's when you like to hurt other people.
so
But
liking other people, like when you want other people to hurt you, what's that called?
sadism. Or I guess that's masochistic. I don't know. Masochism is is when you like hurting yourself. Like you enjoy your pain.
I guess that's kind of what she gets turned on by people like abusing her. She likes torture.
Yeah.
And she can't land any. She's good with the sword technically.
Right, so like
But
imagine like basically any Odd Future fan girl out there, so any girl that listens to Lil Peep or any of those kind of artists, she may wear a choker to school.
But yeah, she's good. She's supposed to go with the sword, but she can't ever land a strike. And then Aqua, she's the goddess, but a lot of her powers are nerfed in like this world, so she's basically useless and just cries all the time.
Yeah, so basically, got to rely on this puny guy who ends up saving them a lot. But I think I will say, throughout the anime, he was able to be the leader, where he's like the ringleader, where basically because of how good he was as a tactician, he was able to utilize their powers to the best ability, and realizing that, for example, Megumi, that's the heavy hitter. She will save her for last. Darkness, she may not be able to hit people, but she's extremely durable. She can go and endure blows and provide us some sort of a defense or a wall, as Donald Trump would say. And then Aqua, he was able to utilize her by getting her near water and stuff like that. If you remember, in like near the end of season 1, I believe, when they were like fighting like one of the boss's minions or something like that. He was like a pretty big person, and he was just able to like come up with a perfect plan and lead them all together.
Yeah. Now that I think about it, like they've technically defeated like 3 of the Demon Lord's minions.
Yeah.
Like, but it's unintentionally. So the first one, I remember he was like the headless horseman or whatever, or Dalahan or whatever you call it.
Mm-hmm.
So he was living in this castle, right? So the idea was that Kazuma was trying to get Megumin to level up. So he's like, oh, no one's living in that abandoned castle up on the hill. So we'll go out there every single day, and you'll like strike this castle with your explosion, and I'll just carry you back so you can like level up your explosion. Little did they know that for some reason this Demon Lord minion was sent here, and he moved into that castle for like he paid for it. So he comes to the city like every damn day someone blows up my fucking castle. He's like pissed off. So they end up defeating him, but it was like unintentional. It's not like you like, well, we're training to fight this one guy, and like but like it's so they're still following the story arc. If you want to say there's overarching arc to the anime, but it's like so ridiculous how like it just happens. Really, it's just a pretty funny one. Yeah. So yeah, that's that one. I guess I'll ask you about one of the ones that I see on your list. Have you finished Jujutsu Kaisen?
I haven't watched it, but my roommate's been watching it. He said it's good.
So let me choose a different one then. What's Steins Gate? That was a good pick, I guess.
It's like that's my favorite anime of all. That's actually Ramos and Daniel. That's their favorite anime. Abdullah also said that's his favorite anime.
Really?
That's also my favorite anime of all time. So yeah, Steins Gate, beautiful anime. Really gorgeous, and I felt so many different emotions when I was watching. It made me laugh. It made me cry. It made me laugh. It made me come.
What the hell is wrong with you? Just give a brief summary of the.
So basically, it's a time traveling anime, and this man invents a machine where he goes back in time, and he was able to send some impulses through a microwave, by timing the microwave impulses with like his device. And it got to the point where he was going back in time a lot, time traveling whenever things would happen. But it got to a point where like one of his friends tragically died, and he was going back in time over and over again. And no matter what he would do, no matter what he would try to alter, he would end up dying anyway. She would end up dying anyways, no matter what. And he did it so many times to the point where it started just breaking him down. He time traveled him back he said it was like over like 400 times or something. This is like a very brief synopsis, but basically it took a toll on him, and just having to like adjust to life after that and coming to terms with altering the past. And that's to sum it up. I don't think just giving a summary of the plot really does justice to this anime. I think actually going and breaking down like the characters between the personalities, the themes we've seen, the thoughts that go through his head, how he could handle these thoughts, how he could have handled certain situations. Also the dynamics between the two people. I really do not want to say much because I really want you to watch it. But I just don't want to say too much. One, because I watched it in like 2019.
Okay, that's fair.
So I don't remember personally all my in-depth thoughts. but also I just think there's just so many layers to that show to where like you gotta take in and stuff.
So that's the reason why it's your favorite, because there's again like so many layers, character
So many
development.
layers. I mean, it's also a great story. It's a great story. There's great emotions. It hits you emotionally. There's so much diversity in terms of when I say because layers, because you don't know what exactly you might expect between comedy, laughter, happiness, pain, suffering. It's a full show, and you know how it all ties back to the main story. Definitely.
Okay. All right. So yeah, good summary. So what do you got? Do you want me to just explain, and then we'll move on to the next subject.
Well, right now my laptop is frozen, so it's
Bruh.
beautiful.
You got MATLAB running? Is that why it's frozen?
Nah, good one. Good thing I don't have to use that.
Dude, all my classes this semester I have to use MATLAB. It's ridiculous.
That makes sense because you're a major. I don't have to use it because why would I? What is Yahari Ore no Seishuin love comedy wa Machigetsurio?
Wait, what? Let me see. Which one?
This thing.
Oh, Snafu? Oh my gosh, bro. Don't get me started on that one. Oh my gosh. Alright, that's a good pick. Snafu. Technically, what he just said is Japanese for my teen romantic comedy Snafu. Arguably one of the best romance animes ever created. I haven't seen nearly as many as there are out there, but Jesus Christ, it's really good. Brief synopsis: 3 seasons, 12 episodes per season. There's a kid named Hachiman Hikigaya. He's kind of like a very pessimistic type of person. He doesn't see the point. It really. Are you gonna watch it? Because I don't know. I could talk for like a solid.
If you
10
want
minutes.
to talk, but if you also want me to watch it, I'll watch it.
Okay.
So
If you're into that, I won't spoil it. But a summary of it really dives deep into the relationships that you can develop with your friends, especially at high school, or maybe even maybe not, maybe the first like year or so of college. But I really like those high school relationships, and it really dives deep into that. The idea behind it is that Hachiman, he pretty much figures out that a lot of your high school or school friendships that you're in are facades for some reason, or for the most part, your friends. I mean, it depends.
yeah.
Like
depends.
your friends based on a social, like, because we're in the same class together, we have to see each other every single day. We're gonna hang out. But if you remove yourself from that medium, not saying all your friends are like that, because I still have my friends from super close friends from high school that I still talk with.
Yeah.
But like, there's some people that in high school that thought I was super close with when I was there, but like haven't spoke to them in years since we graduated. So he almost sees like the idea that all these friendships are just facades, and it's fake, and it really develops into this love triangle where they all trying to get along with each other, and he's basically roped into that facade that he told himself he wasn't going to get into. So the ideas behind he gets into the student aid club, where it's a club where they pretty much solve student issues. So a lot of the students come to them with like dating issues, like, oh, I don't know how to approach this person, or my friend group's kind of like teetering on the point of like disrupting because
I kind of really want to watch this.
yeah, because like these two friends are like passive aggressive with each other, and if we don't figure this out, then we're going to like the whole friend group is going to dismantle. And Hachiman, based on his like I guess pessimism, but also like really good way of reading people's characters, is able to navigate a lot of these situations and like resolve the problem.
Yeah.
But the two other girls he works with, Yukino and Yui Yugahama, she got dogged out at the end of the anime, but I won't.
Yeah, like
into
that's
that.
the thing. I'm really interested, and I don't know how much I want to hear.
But
So
yeah, it's a really good romantic comedy. But yeah, just summing it up, it dives into those relationships that it's very. I like watched it when I finished it. I was like, wow, I could legit the characters that were in the anime. I could legit point to people I went to school with and say like, yeah, this relates to that person, or I really remember a situation that I was in or that I witnessed or spectated in high school that was similar to this. So it's really it's fun to watch. Like it can be heartbreaking. It can be heartwarming based on how you align yourself with the characters. But yeah, it can be like reminiscing on like your days in high school. Like, oh, he can learn from this. I like what I learned from this. It's kind of pays homage to those old days in high school. And like, yeah, they were kind of corny. Yeah, they were kind of cringy, but there's no other experience like that. And I think it does a really good job of summarizing that. Much better than like your standard, oh, we're gonna go to high school and everyone's a perv type anime, which can get annoying. But yeah, that's pretty much. We might come back to this topic a little bit later, based on, but we've been talking for nearly 50 minutes on this.
I was just about to ask, man. I was thinking you want to go to maybe some NFL. Maybe like we can do like next season picks. We can talk about this past season. Talk about like do like a mock draft. Talk about the mock draft. Who may go where.
Well, I don't watch enough college sports to know who's going to go in the mock draft.
Okay.
But yeah, I was honestly going to ask you what you thought about the Super Bowl.
Okay, so how do I explain it? It's
Wait, before we get into this, I am an avid LA Rams fan. I've been a fan since they were in St. Louis, and they kind of stripped that away from me. So, but I can't break my heart like that. I went through so much heartache and pain in St. Louis that they're seeing success now, and some of the same players are there. So yeah, the Rams are my favorite team, and then over here, his favorite team is the Saints.
Yeah, so basically like our team. So think about it like this. He's 808s and I'm Heartbreak. You put that together, depressing.
Yeah, but in all honesty, like neither one of our teams are in the best shape. I think the Rams might be in slightly better shape than the Saints, but I don't know. But I guess we starting with the Super Bowl because that's the first thing. What'd you think about that?
What the hell? No, okay, so I want to ask you one thing. Obviously I was scrolling through ESPN and I saw Stephen A. He was saying, oh, I can never overlook how Patrick Mahomes got blown out that badly in the Super Bowl. And I'm like, yeah, he wasn't necessarily good, but what I saw was that his receivers were completely covered. That's what I was seeing. It was more of just no one was able to get close to an opening. To where, I don't know if you saw one of the interceptions where Mahomes just threw it wildly and it came really close, but because to the receiver, but because it was defended so well, it bounced off, and then one of the Bucks players caught the interception.
Yeah.
If you saw that play, I can't remember who he exactly was targeting, but it was to the point where I just think it was a complete dominance on both sides of the ball. For one, I think the main story is not just Tom Brady, but just the fact that the Bucks were literally just feeding Leonard Fournette and Ronald Jones over and over again, and they just kept getting minimum 6 yards per carry. It was just a complete letdown. It was complete blowout. Nothing even to remotely be interested. I want to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, sticking with the running backs, like Leonard Fournette. I mean, I was sleeping on him for like the majority of the season. Like I would tune in a couple times when the Bucks were playing, because we're here in Florida. So, but anyway, I would tune in sometimes and like you'd see him just simple screen out passes. He sits right behind the line of scrimmage in between the linebackers, and just Brady would just dump the ball off to him and he would just simply drop it.
I think we saw a lot of that in the Super Bowl too, where he was do like a lot of screen passes. I think there was one where he started off in the backfield and kind of did like a little slant, like he went up past the center and just did like a little slant, and Brady threw him for like a little screen pass and he ran for like 16, 20 yards or something. Yeah, he had like 50 yards receiving for in 2 quarters. I don't know how much he finished, but it was ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean his play was, he honestly could have taken the MVP, but because I've heard a lot of commenters saying is that the defense really deserved the MVP, which I definitely agree on, because this is the easiest that Brady's ever had in the Super Bowl. I personally think.
I can't really answer that because I haven't been alive, or I was alive. It's just I was like drooling in my diapers when he won the first one. Wait, no, I was 4 years old. Yeah, I was drooling in my diapers. I was a weird baby, but basically, I don't really remember it. I do say like,
Well, when I say easiest is that because the point spread was just so ridiculous.
right,
Like the majority of his Super Bowls he's won have been by single digit scores, and he's only lost by single digit scores. This is the first time he's really blown out a team. So I think the pressure wasn't on him where he had to make Herculean type plays to be able to get his team over the edge. That's what I mean by like the easiest Super Bowl. But
it was the easiest, but I was watching, like, I saw one play where basically they had like two receivers lined out to the right, and then like I think, was it the tight end? I think it was like, yeah, I think it was one of the tight ends like lined up on the opposing side on the left side, and basically how the play was drawn up is the two receivers would go and pick up the defense, and then like one of like the outside linebackers would come and help cover the receivers on the right, on the far side. So then it opened up the middle of the field, and then the tight end just ran and caught a pass. And from the way it looked like in the replay, Tom Brady knew it was going to be, that area of the field was going to be open before the play even happened. It felt like they just did enough homework to the way they just knew how to exploit this defense. That's how it felt like. So I want to give credit to like this coaching staff of this team. They just really just picked this team apart, and also just a credit of Tom Brady just to be like as wise as he is, because he is in terms of skill level not quite the same player he was, and that's a fact. But I think in terms of his wisdom, he really showed that.
yeah, I think Mahomes is a living cheat code. I mean, did you see the throw he made like parallel to the ground when he was about to be sacked after running like, I don't know, 30 yards in the backfield, throws
Right.
it sideways, and it hits, who was it, Tyreek in the face?
I think that one, it was what's his name?
Hardman, Pringle.
Yeah, one of those guys.
Yeah, one of those guys hits the receiver in the face fast,
In the
and he
face,
like
in
on fourth down in the end zone,
Right.
and like the ability for him to thread that ball like that, like we might never see a throw, and I wish it was completed because that will probably go down in history as probably one of the greatest touchdown completions ever, like hands down, as far as what I've seen.
Right.
As far as like his arm ability and his accuracy, but like I said, it was almost like him playing playing a ranked video game with like complete randoms, or it was like his team was like sandbagging him.
It was basically like when LeBron was on the Cavs and went up against the Spurs. It was just him trying to do everything.
Yeah.
Like, no, I think that was a great point you also brought up, because how the guy got hit in the face. There was also in the first quarter when it was like a third down, and Mahomes, he scrambled out of the pocket, and he was running to the far left sideline. And as he was running, he was pedaling backwards towards the sideline and threw the ball like this. And threw it for like 40, 50 yards, and it went right through Tyreek's hands. They ended up having to punt. There was also, on third down, what's the tight end's name?
Kelsey.
Yeah, Kelsey had a drop pass,
Yeah,
and then that became a fourth down. So I think there was some key. It wasn't just 3 drops that we mentioned, but these were 3 key drops in third down situations that could have completely turned the tide.
That could have resulted in 21 points. In all honesty, at least. I mean, that's 2 touchdowns that were dropped.
Right. I will say, like, even if it did, it's just like the Bucks defense. It was playing so well to the point where it's just like, I don't know if he would have gotten the.
Yeah. Here's the thing, though. Like, the Bucks defense, hands down, amazing. Played like credit to Todd Bowles. Like, I honestly think this is the same coaching staff Bruce Arians had when he was with the Cardinals. It was him, Todd Bowles as defensive coordinator, and Byron Leftwich as the offensive lineman, if I'm not mistaken. And they had like Carson Palmer as their quarterback.
That's the issue.
Yeah, and that's the reason.
That's where it all went to hell.
That's why they didn't. That's why they didn't make the Super Bowl. But like, I think that roster in Arizona was very, very similar as far as talent on the wideout position. I forget all the names. I mean, Larry Fitzgerald. I forget the other guys that were with him.
That's all you need to know is Larry Fitzgerald.
Yeah,
That's the
and he
only-
was still playing at a high level. You know, But yeah, it's basically the same coaching staff that the Cardinals had and here in Tampa Bay. Another thing I personally saw a lot of on social media was obviously people are going to blame the refs, and I do believe in the first half that there was a lot of calls that didn't need to be made. But to the Bucks' credit and to the Chiefs like discredit, the Chiefs play sticky defense. Like they pretty much like if you go back to last year, it was basically the complete opposite with the 49ers. Like the Chiefs in a lot of cases really benefited from calls going their way. Like let's just be honest about it. Mahomes didn't play his best ball game the first half. They were down 10 points, and then based on some calls that people are going to, I have to go back and look at the film or whatever to really like say what it was. But I remember there was some sticky calls here and there. But at the end of the day, the Chiefs' defense has always been sloppy, in my personal opinion.
Okay.
Like if you look at last year, like they were always seeing double-digit deficits before they made it to their Super Bowl, and it's really been Mahomes carrying this team and making those Herculean plays because the offense was just so great that's really carried this defense. But in this situation, when you're facing up against a defense that's playing out of their minds in Tampa Bay, putting pressure on Mahomes,
like where there and it's crazy because Mahomes couldn't sit back in the pocket. I do think there were a couple plays near the end where I think just the pressure got to Mahomes, where I think he could have just stepped up in the pocket to avoid the sack rather than scramble out. I also realized you were in mid-pod, so continue what you were saying. My bad.
Well, that was pretty much the end of my thought. They played sloppy defense. They've been playing sloppy defense for the past 2 years. The offense has been carrying them. So this was a humbling moment. I think they need to make some serious changes on the defensive side of the ball for this team to become the dynasty that everyone was expecting it to.
Right.
Because, football is a team sport. Like you can't be a Jordan and just carry your team every single time you make it to the finals. It doesn't work like that because there's more than 5 guys on the field.
Even Jordan had to have a team crafted around him and a system. Let's not forget. But I can go more into basketball. But I don't think you watch basketball.
You watch way more basketball than I do. But I guess moving on from the Super Bowl. Again, I didn't see this team being as good as it was. The talent was always there. They went 7-9 last year. A lot of the players that they won this year were with them last year.
Right.
And the thing is that defense is going to stay together for at least another 2 years based on the contracts that they have.
Jesus.
So, this same squad, and then including draft picks, including any other moves they make, could this is by far the best team that Brady's had since Randy Moss. When he went 18-1 and lost, but he's gonna have this for a whole other. He could, in all honesty, make another dynasty in Tampa Bay.
I pray not. I'm a Saints fan.
I know.
That's my least. In fact, I actually halfway through the season, I actually started to hate Tampa Bay with Brady more than New England with Brady. I'd rather him just win in New England. That's how much I hate Tampa Bay.
Him being the NFC, yeah. Now we get to see firsthand what all the people in AFC hated Brady for, firsthand. I don't know if the Rams play the Bucks next year. I hope they don't. But if they make the playoffs, they definitely will see them. But yeah, the Saints are going to be getting cut for the next couple of years.
Screw you, bro. It's true. And I don't know how much. I'll ask you anyway. This is a quarterback-loaded class, and this is going to be a Saints question. The Saints have the 28th pick. How likely do you think that Saints will be able to land with an elite quarterback? It's a very quarterback-heavy draft, and from what I'm hearing, 5 quarterbacks can be drafted within the top 20, the top 25.
So how many good quarterbacks? How many quarterbacks that you want to see? That you would like to see on the Saints?
I want to see Mac Jones on the Saints because I'm a Bama fan.
How many quarterbacks in the draft class would you be okay with the Saints drafting or be happy with the Saints drafting?
Well, obviously Trevor Lawrence. We no chance of getting him. He's a done deal. He's going to Jacksonville. There's also, I think number 2 right now is Zach Wilson. He's got a very modern skill set where he can. He's a playmaker. He's got a great accuracy, but he can also make plays on his feet. He gets a lot of Josh Allen comparisons, where he can sit in the pocket and just be great given the time, but he can also be able to get out of the pocket and make plays if he needs to be. Third is who you call the Ohio State quarterback, which is Justin Fields. And Justin, he was supposed to be a consensus second overall pick, but because of his inconsistency, particularly with Alabama, and what really threw me off was the Northwestern game. I can definitely see there can be some issues, but him just being the talent that he is also another one of those players that can make plays with his feet and can also throw the ball. It's just how accurate he can be on a consistent basis is an issue. I think I haven't really watched many Ohio State games, but I did watch that Northwestern game where he was absolutely abysmal, mainly because Northwestern decided to guard the wideouts so tightly to the point where he was like 40% with like 2 interceptions, but then the running back had 300 yards rushing, and they lost. I can't even BS you. He had like multiple 40-yard plus runs where he didn't get touched. So I can also say, hey, Northwestern just wanted to take away the passing game completely, but there were also a couple plays such as the interception in the end zone where he could have thrown that a little higher to his receiver and that could have been a touchdown, but because he threw it like around chest level, it was able to get picked off. So I do think that could be an issue, but it also is just not a real good sign. I think he's still like an elite quarterback.
So you named like a good 6 or 7 quarterbacks.
I think so. And top 5, for example, the Alabama quarterback was considered like probably like as a pocket passer, probably the most accurate. He's not a playmaker, so that's why he's only number 5. But he could possibly be the most accurate quarterback in the class. He's the 5th best quarterback. And then there's also Kyle Trask, who's number 6, supposed to be a second-round pick. And then maybe some other quarterbacks I can't really think off the top of my head. So this is a very quarterback-heavy class. Also, there could be 3 receivers in the top 6 from a recent Mel Kiper mock draft.
Okay. To answer your question about the Saints, I mean, there's going to be a solid, just thinking about teams that need quarterbacks. I mean, you already said Jacksonville's a done deal, so we can cancel him and Trevor Lawrence. The Jets.
The Jets are most like, I don't know what with Deshaun is going. Apparently they want Deshaun.
Yeah, that's the thing. Someone's going to get Deshaun, but at the same time, someone's going to get a first-round draft. So the Texans are probably going to be looking for.
They're most likely going to have to trade away that that number 2 overall with Deshaun. But
so we can say that either the Texans or the Jets are probably going to take one of these quarterbacks. I'm not sure I don't think the Bears fall that high in the draft pick, but I'd say the Bears might be looking at a quarterback. I mean, it really depends. I don't really know if the Saints. I mean, to be a contenders, they definitely do need a quarterback. I assume you're giving up on the whole Taysom Hill experiment if you're looking for a quarterback.
Well, I saw a report saying that where Sean Payton came out and said, if Drew Brees retires, we're planning on going with Jameis Winston, which we should. We should. I don't want. I mean, Taysom Hill, it's just he doesn't have the experience as like a normal passer. He's not a pocket passer at all.
I mean, Jameis, he's a turnover machine. But heck, Goff was a turnover machine, and we still were able to do fairly well in this year's playoffs. Get out to the divisional round. We got to the Super Bowl.
You guys have the number 1 defense.
I mean, but you guys have number 4 defense, and you guys arguably have more weapons or you do have more weapons on the offensive side of the field than the Rams do.
We do.
So I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, you could survive with Jameis if you didn't get a quarterback. You might get lucky in the second round. I'm not sure. I think the Saints will be fine. I think coaching, Peyton Smith, he's one of the best coaches to ever do it.
Peyton Smith?
What's his name?
Sean Payton.
Sean Payton? Oh, my God.
Yeah, dude, Peyton Smith? Yeah, dude.
My fault. I'm not a Saints fan. You don't have to worry about the Rams taking a quarterback because, we got Stafford. I'm not as hot on him, but we'll see how it goes. One of the things I really don't get is this whole idea around small receivers small like slot receivers being so popular nowadays, and I think we saw that like, especially on the Chiefs side of the football, like they just didn't have that big guy that could just dominate the field. Like just, I mean, Tyreek is one of the best to do it today at least, but I'm talking about like the Randy Mosses or the Tos or the Jerry Rices. Like we don't have a receiver like that in the league. I don't think. I mean, you have Julio Jones, but he's
He's
being
been-
sandbagged by the Falcons.
He's
Uh,
he's basically just getting screwed over.
Yeah, but like other than say like Julio Jones, really, who really is that dominant? Whereas like a lot of teams don't have that dominant. I know the Rams don't. The Saints have Michael. How big is Michael Thomas? Is he like?
He's like, I don't know, what is he, 6'2", 6'3"?
So is,
But Michael Thomas is a very specialized short route runner. Like I don't really see him being like a guy. He could because I probably shouldn't say that because a talent like him, he could easily transform himself into like more of like a deep route runner kind of guy. But his specialty is short routes. In just that, literally like just watching the Saints just Breeze throwing it to Thomas 12 times in a row in a drive, like that thing can that is happening just for like the short 5, 6, 7 yards and just keep just wearing down the defense. I mean,
yeah.
I don't know. That's why I think that's why people don't regard Michael Thomas as highly, because that 17th when the season he had 1,700 yards. They said for that season he led the league as a first wide receiver option, but the second receiver, he was as the second option had the least amount of yards out of any second options in the entire league, which was Ted Ginn in that season too. So having Alvin just elevate his game to like a completely different level this year. I think we can say that Alvin Kamara is like, he's gonna be like the key. I think as great as Michael Thomas is, I think Alvin Kamara is gonna be like the key player for this offense. So he's gonna take some opportunities from Mike Thomas, but
Yeah, I mean, but
I still think he's a top 5 receiver. He's elite. He can he's got good strength. He can be able to, he has good footwork in terms of just getting himself open. But I think it just, you also need someone that's a very accurate, precision quarterback like Drew Brees. Jameis Winston, big arm, not that accurate.
well, I'm saying like that's the idea. Like, there's very, very few Patrick Mahomeses of the league that are just going to be able to drop the ball in the breadbasket every single, like 80-90% of the time. There's going to be a lot of times where the quarterback is pressured and doesn't make the best throw, and it seems like a lot of like we saw last night. Tyreek Hill, he's great when, he's not he's great when he's wide open and he can, but when he's not able to get separation, there's a lot of times where he just drops the ball. He's not that big of a guy. He's a speedster, but he's not going to be able to overpower any of the DBs in the league, especially if they're just bigger than him or like jump that high. But like,
Right.
I just don't get like why a lot of more people don't go out and try to get themselves like a D Hop or a Julio Jones or a DK Metcalf even. Like, give him a couple of years, and if he like gets all like better at his route running, plus his physical ability, like he could honestly be one of the best like going forward.
Right.
But I think more teams need to focus on getting a receiver like that feels like that T.O. or Randy Moss type mold where they're just going to dominate one-on-one, like and even dominate double teams.
Right. I'm trying to think in the draft who would that be? So the top 3 receivers is easily Devontae Smith, Jalen Waddle, and not Justin Jefferson. Justin Jefferson is on the Vikings right now, but the other guy from LSU who actually had more yards than Justin Jefferson in college when they both played each other. The LSU receiver, I'm forgetting his name, but as I will say the 2 Bama quarterbacks are not big at all. And Devontae Smith literally looks like a high school guy. He like when I was watching the Heisman ceremony, my dad said he does not look like he said You don't have to be this prototypical football player. And he goes, he's right. He does not look like a football player. He looks like a normal dude. Keep in mind, Devontae Smith is 6'1", 175 pounds.
Right.
175 pounds. He's a very light frame, but just being the athletic monster he is in terms of speed, leaping ability, and him just being able to make difficult grabs. That's why he's being probably the top receiver. To the point where some mock drafts are having the Jets draft Devontae Smith over getting a quarterback, like an elite quarterback, at number 2. I hope not. I really do not want to see him go to the Jets. Please. Please.
So hoping the Saints grab him.
No, there's no way the Saints are going to get Devontae.
Mm.
Not, he's like a top 5 guaranteed. I want him to go to Miami.
Oh, that'd be nice. We'll see.
So like, mainly because what mock decks are having is like somewhere it's just like if Devontae goes number 3 to Miami, they also have the 18th pick. Keep in mind, Devontae played college with Tua, right? So, and they're also saying at number 18 they'll get the running back from Alabama, Najee Harris. So all 3 of those players play with each other in college, and they're just putting them all on the same team now.
That'd be crazy.
So, I would love to see that. I would probably cry.
So Super Bowl picks, 2022. Who you got? AFC, NFC. And who do you think will win the game?
AFC. Well, my favorite team in the AFC doesn't have it. It's the Tennessee Titans. It's just their defense is it's booty math. It's booty. I don't know why I said booty math. I was thinking Zach Fox, but I think it's easily the problem with that team is defense. So, and I also say like having like just an okay backup running back. Like I keep saying, like if Tennessee can somehow get T.J. Yeldon from Buffalo Bills, he's barely played at all this season. However, in like 2 games he's played, he was really good because he's a guy that can run the ball and he can also catch out of the backfield. He's not a great runner, but because his skill set is literally the complete opposite of Derrick Henry's, because he's a skinnier frame and he uses a lot of quick feed motion, so he does a lot of feet chopping, little just quick movements, and just trying to make these little. He's very shifty, just to make these little dodges. It just puts more pressure on the defense. Even though Derrick is probably going to get 25 to 30 carries, just to put him in for a couple of plays and give that give that option as a receiver. He's actually a better receiver than he is a runner, and he's a running back.
Okay.
So I think having something like that obviously fix up that defense, Titans.
Okay. But so you're saying Titans for your pick?
No.
Oh.
I just wanted to rant about the Titans. Who do you think would be the AFC? I'll let you go first.
I mean, from what I saw in the AFC, the Chiefs are still head over heels better. I think on every single way, especially on offense. And the Mahomes factor, I still think that's a legit factor. When the rest of the team plays well, like last night, the rest of the team, like no one on the rest of the team played well, like no one except Mahomes. So it was like 1 against 100. But when that team comes together and actually plays their best football, I can't see anyone else in the AFC beating them. So I saw the Chiefs as my top pick. What I think would be interesting to see. The Browns would be really interesting to see. Now, I think if the Browns made the Super Bowl, the world would end because that's not destined to be. Because that would honestly be like, I think I've been like the shadow realm or the sunken place if I see the Browns in the Super Bowl. But that would be they have a good team.
The second they win the Super Bowl, 5 meteors will fly out of the sky.
Exactly, bro.
But no, Browns have the problem with the Titans where it's dominant running game. In fact, literally a better running game. Better running team than the Tennessee Titans. Literally, when they have both Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt, that is the best rushing team. Keep in mind that Baker Mayfield did a complete 180 like halfway through the season, and he was just like, you know what, I just don't have to turn it over, and I'll be fine. Yeah, I'll be fine.
Plus, you get OBJ back.
Exactly, and the main difference is also for Cleveland it has been their offensive line for Baker's surge. I was seeing this stat. I think it was from Baltimore's playing the Ravens, where it said Baker's like QBR was like 100 when he's not pressured, but when he is pressured, it drops down to like 50, and that is by far the biggest gap between pressure versus non-pressure, but by any quarterback by far in the league. So as long as he's not, that's the thing with Baker is as long as he's not under pressure and he doesn't have to throw the ball quickly, he's going to be fine. So yeah, from what I'm reading, the Cleveland, the Browns, even though they have a lot of issue on the defense, they want to keep buffing up the offensive line. They last year they got Jedrick Wills out of Alabama, and he's been a great pickup for them. I think they're going to go with another tackle probably to just keep buffing up the offensive line. There's some great linemen in this draft to not overlook, and I really only know Alabama names, but obviously Alex Leatherwood, one of the best linemen to ever wear an Alabama jersey. They get him. That's a great pickup. There's also other players. I don't think Penny Sewell. That's a top 4 draft pick for sure. I don't think they'll get him, but maybe they might get Leather. Sorry, I saw that picture, but maybe they'll get Leatherwood, and yeah, I think the Browns. That's just a fun team to watch, dude. Because Kareem is a pass catching running back. Nick Chubb is just like, I'm just gonna run over a mother. What I'm saying?
Exactly.
So,
And then
I think the main threat is still the Bills.
yeah, I mean that's if Josh Allen can play like he did next year. But that's just left to be seen. And yeah, on the NFC side, Tampa. I mean, they're definitely going to be in the they just won the Super Bowl, and that team's going to stay together. They still have the Tom Brady factor. Mm-hmm. He's going to be as hungry as ever, like he always is. Shows no sign of slowing up. I want to say the Rams, because I think they were a quarterback away for a lot of the season. Still got. Hopefully, they're able to keep that defense together. Some of the pieces are going to move around, but I've been looking at like Jordan Fuller. If they lose John Johnson, Jordan Fuller is definitely looking to have a really good second year. Matt Stafford is a very high upgrade over Goff, just based on arm talent. He can make a lot of the throws in the book, especially the throws that McVay wants to do. And in a lot of cases, Goff kind of handicapped the offense because there were just certain throws that his mobility was not nearly as good. You can't ignore Stafford's injuries over the years and his age at 33. But I mean, they hold that defense together, and Stafford comes out and does what he's supposed to do. I think they could really make some noise.
Well, I think in terms of like a defensive front, when you think best defensive fronts, you're thinking the Bucks, the Saints, and the Rams. Mm-hmm. And the Rams could, even though I think like past couple of years, like last year, the best team against the rush was the Bucks for this year. The previous years it was the Saints, but I think you can easily just say it is the Rams just because you have Aaron Donald, and I believe you also have some other good players on your line. I'm not too familiar with. Also, what is it, Jalen Ramsey something?
Yeah,
you have Jalen Ramsey.
He was shutting down number 1 receivers all season. Should have done it against the Packers, but I mean it was cold, so not much you can do there. But yeah, but yeah, hope you guys enjoyed, and maybe we'll see you next time if this gets any views. Yeah, we really need that that YouTube revenue. College doesn't pay for itself, but anyway.
Neither does loans.
Exactly. But yeah. Thanks for watching or listening. See you next time.
Peace, y'all.